Okay, let's talk about what's happening right now. JD Vance, what can you tell us about him? I know you've done a lot of research.
Well, first off, from a larger standpoint of all those who were on Trump's, list, there were those you and I both like. We like, and Tim Scott appeared to be the guy for a while. There was some talk maybe about Dr. Ben Carson, who's kind of low key. The governor of North Dakota was speculated upon. Kristi Noem sort of took herself out. I liked her for a while, but she just went off. I don't know what happened with shooting her dog or whatever. Uh, Even
Yeah.
the governor of Virginia was like one of the top two finalists from what we hear, Neil Youngkin. But J.D. Vance is the guy who has been my number one pick all along because I think of all those who have been rumored to be on Trump's list, he's the best suited to replace Trump and continue the MAGA movement after Trump is gone. Philosophically, they line up. I mean, people will point out that he was against Trump prior to 2016. A lot of us, myself included, didn't realize who Trump was until all of a sudden one day it hit us like, at least me, it hit me like a ton of bricks. This guy's a transitional politician, but he has since come around, and he's realized, like so many of us have, that we're dealing with a generational leader in the president. But on the issues, he lines up perfectly. He's absolutely against throwing money away in the Ukraine war, which he's caught a lot of flack from both Democrats and Republicans too. He believes that our principal, international issues are in the Far East, meaning China, the Pacific Rim countries. He's correct about that. He has been one of the strongest senators in the entire Senate on the need for border security, continues to maintain the need for the wall. He's a strong pro-lifer. He's a strong traditionalist, which will please a lot of Republicans and Democrat Americans as well, who are still basically pro-family. He's a sharp guy. He grew up in Ohio, born in Ohio, joined the Marine Corps, so he's got a military background.
Mm-hmm.
Was in the Iraq War, as I recall. I think he was a military photographer, but he was there in the Marine Corps in the middle of all the shooting. He got out and graduated from Ohio State. Spent time, met his wife, and they spent time in San Francisco for a while, where he was a venture capitalist, and came back to Ohio, and with the intent on running for office, but became a contributor for CNN of all places and several other networks. So he's really, really good with the camera, like you, Donna. He's very, very good with the camera. He's smooth. He was elected in his first run for public office to the United States Senate. Just a sharp guy, and I think he's an electrifying pick. He is light years above the last pick that President Trump made, that is Mike Pence.
Yeah.
There's like
I still haven't figured why on that one, but anyway.
Well, we tolerated that because, again, Trump was learning on the job. He's not a politician. Part of that was to appease, establishment Republicans, but this pick is going to be an electric pick, I think. It's the most exciting vice presidential pick on either side of the aisle that I can remember in many, many, many years. I stopped to think about even the Republican picks, head and shoulders above, Mike Pence. You go back, George W. Bush. You had Dick Cheney. Come on, you go back, Bob Dole. It doesn't really matter. He had. It doesn't. These GOP selections or Democrat selections as well. Nobody is nearly as electric, as exciting, or as I think is intellectually sharp as JD Vance. And I think it's going to pay great dividends, not only because he is a great intellectual match, he's a forceful advocate, he's a smart guy, a military veteran, a Yale-trained attorney, but he's also very popular, not just in Ohio, but throughout the Midwest. This really helps in Pennsylvania, which is next door to Ohio, helps in Michigan, helps in Wisconsin, helps in Indiana, helps in all these so-called Rust Belt states or Midwestern states, whatever you want to call them, where Trump is going to need to take in order to win. So there's a double advantage. You got somebody who's philosophically compatible, and you've got somebody who is going to be a real political asset as well. So I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to hearing from JD this week in Milwaukee. It's going to be exciting to see.